أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا ما لكم إذا قيل لكم انفروا في سبيل الله اثاقلتم إلى الأرض أرضيتم بالحياة الدنيا من الآخرة فما متاع الحياة الدنيا في الآخرة إلا قليل رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي فالحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Allah Azza wa Jal says in the 38th ayah of Surah At-Tawbah, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, those of you who claim to believe, ma lakum, what is wrong with you? إِذَا قِيلَ لَكُمُ انْفِرُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, when it is said to you, march forward in Allah's path, إِثَّاقَلْتُمْ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ, your feet get dragged, you people become planted towards the earth. Imagine somebody whose legs are buried into the sand, and they're trying to drag their feet in the sand and they're not able to move. This is the image Allah gives. إِثَّاقَلْتُمْ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ. Why would Allah give this image? I chose this ayah especially for the young people in our audience. This month of Ramadan, you've shown that you are able to fast. You're able to get away from a lot of bad habits that you thought you can't get away from. You're able to make time to get up and pray. You're able to do a lot of things, and it's not just because it's Ramadan and you became a superhuman. It's because Allah has given the ability. Then Allah asks a very powerful question. Why is it that when you are asked to come forward, and you are capable, that you drag your feet? إِثَّاقَلْتُمْ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ. And this is a question asked to believers, and the believers are being asked, أَرَضِيتُمْ بِالْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا مِنَ الْآخِرَةِ. Are you people content with worldly life as opposed to the next? Now, why would Allah ask that question to believers? It is as though Allah is saying people who don't believe are obviously content with this life, because they have no concept of a next life. You believe. I've given you a description of Jannah. You are convinced that there is an afterlife. You are convinced you are going to meet me. You are convinced that you're going to be judged. You are convinced that you're going to be, you're going to have your deeds to show for you. That you have to beg and plead for Allah's mercy and His love. There's a great reward waiting for you. Your life means so much more than this world. How could you drag your feet when I'm telling you to go in the path of Allah? By the way, the path, why is it called the path of Allah anyway? It's called the path of Allah because the path leads to Allah. The struggle you make for the sake of Allah, every step you take, every discomfort you go through, is bringing you one step closer to Allah. That's why it's called Allah's path. Why would you drag your feet when you're heading towards Allah? Then He says, فَمَا مَتَاعُ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا فِي الْآخِرَةِ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. What is the enjoyment of worldly life compared to the afterlife except very, very little? It is so, you got impressed by such pathetic little things. I have so much better waiting for you. Allah is not telling us in the Quran not to enjoy our worldly life. He says in Surah Al-A'raf, وَجَعَلْنَا لَكُمْ فِيهَا مَعَايِشْ. He put in this world things for you to live well. The means of living well were placed in this earth for you. So Allah does not want us to not live a good worldly life. But the moment the believer starts thinking that this life is actually worth something, and in their mind, not on their tongue, but in their mind, in their heart, they start thinking less of the akhirah. It's not as conscious, aware a reality, They're not always thinking about it. They're not comparing, and comparing is very important because Allah compares. وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. What Allah has is better and lasts longer. So when I sit in a car, I say, Allah's got a better ride in Jannah for me. It's better than this, and it'll last longer. I'm about to eat food. What Allah has is better, and it'll last longer. Those two comparisons, keep them in mind. You have a relationship. Allah will transform this relationship into something better and longer lasting in the akhirah. I have a home. Allah has a better home and a longer lasting home. Everything you enjoy, two comparisons. وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. What He has is better and lasts longer. This ayah says, how can you then be content with this life over the next when what I've given you in this life compared to the akhirah is very, very little? Aim for the high. إِذَا تَمَنَّيْتَ فَاسْتَكْثِرْ. Look, young people are supposed to aim high. They're supposed to be motivated people. You want to accomplish great things. And Allah is saying, go for it. Accomplish great things. Accomplish Jannah. And when you develop that attitude, I tell you, things in this world just fall into place. You won't have to run after dunya. It'll run after you. You won't have to seek it and pursue it. It'll pursue you because you're pursuing Allah. You're pursuing the akhirah. One of the most powerful lessons in the Quran I ever learned is how Allah submits the skies and the earth to the service of the believer. It's a very powerful idea. Inshallah, another reminder I'll give you on just that. How does Allah bend the rules, what we call the rules of nature, to the service of the believer just because they're pursuing the akhirah, just because they're pursuing Allah? This is the attitude young people have to develop. Don't get caught up in this weak worldly life. Have higher aspirations because Allah expects great, great things from you. And so does the entire ummah. The entire ummah today, and this is what the last thought I want to leave you with. You know the majority of the Muslims living in the world today, about some statistics say 65% or more are under the age of 35. The majority of the ummah is young. You know what that means? That the burden of carrying Islam lies on the young. Today more than ever before. So we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard. May Allah Azza wa Jal not make us of those who drag their feet and really truly realize that it is the akhirah that we are working towards. And this world is just a transient phase that we're going through. May Allah give us the best of the akhirah and the best of this world. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
اعلموا أنما الحياة الدنيا لعب وله وزينة وتفاخر بينكم وتكاثر في الأموال والأولاد كمثل غيث أعجب الكفار نباته ثم يهيج فتراه مصفرا ثم يكون حطاما وفي الآخرة عذاب شديد ومغفرة من الله ورضوان وما الحياة الدنيا إلا متاع الغرور سابقوا إلى مغفرة من ربكم وجنة عرضها كعرض السماء والأرض أعدت للذين آمنوا بالله ورسله ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم.